Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Pokemon TCG Online. We're going to be doing a deck profile today of someone that you don't really see played much, and that is this good old Politoed. It's like an old kind of strategy. But with the new cards from the BREAKpoint sets, we will show you how the Toads and the Lily Pads can show their true dominance. Yes, we will be focusing on the attacks from Poliwrath, Poliwhirl, and the mighty Poliwag. What the Politoed's ability does, King Song, is you ignore all the colorless energy in the attack cost of each of your Poliwag, Whirl, Wrath line. So basically what that means is these guys can attack for 0 energies if you do something like Steamroll, which does 60 damage and then 30 to the bench. The finishing blow is also all colorless energy, so that could be a free attack. It does 50 damage and then 50 more if that Pokemon already has damage counters on it. It's actually a really strong attack. And then the mighty Poliwag can do 20 damage, but he can leave your active opponent confused, which actually I really like. I think that's undervalued. So yeah, so we're going to be doing those attacks for 0 energies. It's true, most of the other Pokemon in the game right now are a lot stronger. So you wonder, okay, why even bother with all this setup? Well, 0 energies means you have, let's say, 10, 12 more cards to use in other places, so we're going to do a lot of energy disruption, and that's thanks to the BREAKpoint set. So just show you, we have 2 of the Shaman EX. Just for the setup and the consistency, we got to have that draw. Running 4 of the Poliwag. As I said, 20 damage and confusion, and you need this to evolve into the Politoed itself, so we got to run 4. Also running 4 of the Poliwhirl. The finishing blow is actually my favorite attack in the series, so it's not gonna like one-shot anything really, but it does the most consistent damage, and yeah, it's a little bit easier to get out than the Poliwrath. We're running 2 of the Poliwrath since we already have 2 of the Politoed. We can't use all that many lines, so he's just there, in case you need extra HP. He is at 140, so that's nice. And then from the new BREAKpoint set, we have Slowking donning his crown. And the Royal Flash, once per turn, you may flip a coin. If heads, move an energy from your opponent's active to his or her bench. So that's where you see the energy disruption. Slow your opponent down while you set up all of your Toads, and you're good to go. Now into the items, we have for Crushing Hammer. Like I said before, since we have 0 energies, we have a lot more space for other cards. So we're going to use a lot of disruption. For Crushing Hammer, we have 2 Enhanced Hammer to also knock off the special energies. We have 4 Dive Ball, since all of our guys are water. With this extra space, we can also do Puzzle of Time. So we can get hammers back, we can get rare candies back, get anything back, so it's just awesome. We're running 2 rare candy. A lot of times we're just going to be going into stage 1 to attack, so we don't need a whole bunch, but we do need to get the Politoed out as fast as possible, so 2 rare candies helps for that. 1 Sacred Ash, since we don't run any energies, we can just bring back the Pokemon, so Super Rod is not as good as Sacred Ash in this deck. 1 Startling Megaphone, 1 Switch, in case things get stuck in the active, only 2 Ultra Ball. If we need more, we can get him back with Puzzle Time, but we're only searching for Shaman with the Ultra Ball, not the Waters, so we only need 2. Running 3 Versus Seeker. 1 Bridget. Really like this card for starting off. It's really bad late game, but if you start off with the Bridget, then it's really good to get all your Poliwags set up. Maybe even a Slowpoke or 2, and then you can kind of really go off the turn after that. Running 1 Lysander, 1 Pokemon Fan Club, which I also feel is undervalued. Because, it grabs a Shaman as well as another Pokemon, so it's draw, support, and it kind of helps you get set up. So I think it's pretty undervalued. And we're running 1 Professor Birch. This is mainly just to shuffle my hand. I always run 1 Shuffle Supporter in case it's like late game and the opponent's trying to deck you out. You want to be able to have a way to shuffle cards back into the deck. So he's mainly just there for that. Could do Shauna, but this is full art, so I'm going with him. And he kind of has like a hipster look about him. I don't know. I feel like I see this guy out in like Hollywood and stuff all the time. We got 4 Professor Sycamore, and then we got 1 Skyla. really good with Puzzle of Time. If you have one in hand and you just really need that second one, you can Skylift for the second Puzzle of Time and then go off. Also helps for getting you rare candies and such. Now for the stadium, there aren't really many stadiums that help this deck. Rough Seas would be the first thought, obviously, because you're a water deck. But the healing, I find, is kind of insignificant since they're going to be one-shotting you mainly because you're small little fish toad things. So you don't really need the heal, and you don't want to have your opponent heal off the damage if they're running Manectric or some other sort of water like a Grunt Ninja deck or something. So with Parallel City, instead, you can use this to lessen their damage. You can use it to discard your own Shamans so they don't pick those off for easy prize exchange. So yeah, I really like the Parallel City in this deck. We run 2 Float Stones, so any of our stranded Pokemon can retreat. Typically you want to put this on a Slowking in case it gets Lysandered out. Running 2 Muscle Band just for a little extra damage, and finally 2 Head Ringers. So that is the deck. Let's see if we can get a cool game in the online versus ladder. People take the versus ladder real serious, but we'll see what we can do. And we're going up against, it might be a Night March deck, so that'll be kind of interesting to see how we can hang with it. Could be Night March, or it could be like a Batman, like a Manectric with bats. Either way, our toads are not afraid. And we're starting off with 1 Poliwag, and we have a fan club, so it's actually not that bad of a start. We'll see what our opponent puts up first, and it is the Batman deck, so we're going to make sure we don't put... actually, we can put down the Muscle Band, because they're going to one-shot this Poliwag anyways. Let's see here. So we can get a Slowpoke to move some energies about, and we'll probably get a Poliwag for the bench. I'll set those guys down there, and guess we can hold for now. Next turn, we can use our Sycamore to get a full hand size, try to search for a rare candy, and then start controlling our opponent. And there, in fact, we do see the Rough Seas, as we were talking about. Would this be a card that we would play? So, I mean, maybe it helps us out, but if we can find our own stadium to get rid of that, we're going to do that, because we don't want them to be able to heal. And we do see a Mega Manectric. So this might not be a Bat variant. It might be a Regice variant, which is fine because we don't run any EXs. So we'll see what we can do. We see a Spirit Link go down, and we see a card. Oh, a Smeargle. This is okay. So this is probably a Ho-Oh variant, and there it is, the Ho-Oh. All right, so this is going to be interesting. If that Ho-Oh comes into play, that could be good for us because it needs a very specific energy setup. And if we can start manipulating that energy setup, then we are going to be feeling pretty good about that. Go ahead, play the Slowking, and let's go ahead and see if that Royal Flash can hit. Do your thing, Slowking. Yes, and we hit. So we got the electric energy. We're going to go ahead and move that to the Smeargle, because the Smeargle definitely cannot use that energy. And now the question is, do we want to play this Muscle Band? I guess we do, because he can just evolve and start doing lots of damage. So let's try to kill him as fast as possible. We have to fight through this Rough Seas, so we're going to go ahead and slap it on. And we do not see a... Let's see. Oh, okay. Actually, we could just get rid of the energy completely. I think we're going to hold off on that. We go ahead and pull out the Politoed from our die ball. And I guess we'll go ahead and end there. Unfortunately, we didn't have a rare candy to evolve into our stage 2 right away, but we were able to move that energy around, so it's going to buy us a turn. And this deck that we are going against does have some very specific energy sort of strategies that it's trying to use, so if we can disrupt that, then we might be able to slow him down long enough to do some serious damage. And our opponent actually is going to be able to get in a big attack if he's able to go for the Mega Evolution here. So that could be troublesome. And we'll see if our opponent has a supported play. And he does not, so that's really big for us. We really need to knock off some of these energies, so we missed there. We have another crushing, and we missed both the hammers, unfortunately. I think what we're going to do is going to go ahead and evolve this Politoed, because we need to get him out of the active, since he has that tool card on him, and we're going to birch, and we flip heads. Awesome. Alright, now we're looking good. Now we're looking pretty good. Go ahead and use a crushing hammer again, and we hit heads. Brilliant. Let's go ahead and knock off this lightning energy. He doesn't want that. You don't want that, do you, sir? And we're going to go ahead and switch into Poliwag, because we want to get that confusion down. Evolve into a Poliwhirl on the bench. And we can, I think we can actually use this puzzle time. Now we see the value of puzzle time. We're going to grab a hammer and probably a draw card. Grab a Sycamore for next turn. And we hit another one. Brilliant. Let's knock off that energy. And let's go ahead and attack. Spiral Current with the confusion. Let's see how our deck is looking. Unfortunately, our opponent is going to be able to heal through a lot of this damage, so we definitely got to get a stadium. Hopefully we can find a Skyla soon. And he retreats. Oh, no, he doesn't retreat. I guess he was just using the Smeargle. He's going to attempt to overrun, and he hits, which is fine. We're just going to heal that damage off anyways. Let's go ahead and start stacking more damage since our opponent is actually confused right now. And use a Royal Flash, and we hit. This is probably going to make our opponent get pretty upset. We're going to go ahead and load up that Smeargle, because he doesn't want that. And we'll go ahead and Sycamore. Alright, looking pretty good. And we are going to go ahead and slap on this. Do we want to slap on the Muscle Band? That's the question. Having the tool is going to hurt us if he gets 2 energies and can one-shot us, but the little damage that we are doing, he can heal through it. I think I'm going to hold off this turn. Next turn, we will consider it if they haven't made any big moves. We want to make sure they can't kill us in a response next turn. So now we see the annoying nature of these darn hypnosis toad weird dudes. I don't know what they are really. And we see energy go down, and here's an overrun. Okay, do that. Alright, cool. We're going to go ahead, heal off the damage, and I think we're going to go ahead and Lysander out this Manectric. And try to use our Crushing Hammer. We get heads. This guy's going to get pretty upset soon, I can tell. And we're looking pretty good right now. I think we're just going to go ahead and... we see a face there. Go ahead and do Finishing Blow. For 100 damage. The cool thing right now is we do have Skyla, so we can Skyla for another puzzle time and bring back some hammers. If he doesn't remove this Manectric, then he's going to go down. If he sets energies on... Okay, we see a max elixir come out. Our opponent's got to be low on lightning energies. So I don't know if he can really... And we get this scoop. So, you know what? Hey, those are the breaks. The deck is all about control. And you were able to see that. I guess a pretty strong Mega Manectric Ho-Oh deck. But, we didn't play any games. We came out, we sought to dominate, and that's what we did with our Hypnosis Toads. And that's the strength of... Actually, I want to see our stats. I don't even know if we have an MVP. Poliwhirl. That's the strength of this deck. Knock off energies. We have ways to get back the hammers. It's kind of like a standard version of this Garbodor in a way, where you're just kind of moving energies, confusing. Pretty damn good. So yeah, I think you guys should give it a check. It's a lot of fun, and it's kind of good to fuck with the meta whenever you can. So yeah, hope you guys check out some more of our vids. We will be back soon with another Pokemon Let's Play. Until then, peace.